Alright, so I'm going through and pulling the lumber I used out for flattening everything, and I just picked up a piece of lumber and found that. Look at those fangs. Alright, so I've got the 4x4s out of the way. That spider seems to be hiding inside the channel, so that's going to be unfortunate when I have to put the floor sills in. But that's what I'm down to next. It's the next step. Got everything on the ground, and I'm going through trying to figure out which of these parts are for the floor plate. It's all unfinished aluminum, and it's actually, in some spots it's pretty sunny here, and that's been pretty difficult to identify the numbering on these pieces. Trying to do that, you're basically looking for the right number on here, and unfortunately that's whatever that number is, 10B maybe, but then you flip it over here and it's actually etched in with a 7. So the numbers are wearing off. Some of these have stickers and some of them have numbers, and I'm really hoping that with the ones that have stickers, they haven't fallen off. I can still identify what pieces are what here. And some of these bundles aren't bundled the way you would expect with like numbered pieces in here. So trying to find the floor is really difficult. Trying to find the numbers on some of these is really difficult. And doing it in the sun is next to impossible. So if you can get this in the shade where the sun's just not glaring off of the aluminum, do it in the shade. I'm gonna have to move everything over at this point. And again, like some of these have arrows as far as which one's up, which one's down. Is that 6 or a 9? I guess I'll figure out when it comes down to it, because it's got the 45-degree cut on it. But I'm still searching for a few pieces. I've got numbers 3 through 5 sorted here, and I haven't checked to see how many of each I'm supposed to have, but getting everything laid out and over in the shade where you can actually see it without blinding yourself is going to be pretty important. Alright, so I've dug up the next set of pieces for this floor plate. So here's the piece. They say on the instructions 1A, but there was no A on the piece. Let's see if I can find where it was engraved here. Right there, next to that second screw. There's a 1, no A. It's a little bit hard to tell from the picture, but the screw holes go like that, where the tabs are up and in the back. And then 2, which was the same thing as 1, there was no A on it, it's just number 2. That goes over number 1 till those screw holes, oh, I guess it should be. So I'll do that again real quick. Number 2. Kind of helps to roll that front end in. It also helped to have a second pair of hands. Alright, so there's the first bit of that. And then it says on the instructions to use 65 and 67. Here we have 65 and 67. I'm dreading this corner because you're gonna get an ugly shot here. Oh, that's just a frog. I thought it was that tarantula from earlier. Alright, the frog will get out of the way, that's fine. Tarantula was a little feisty. Alright. So back to this. Get you set up here where you got a view. Alright, well there is no 47, there's no sticker on this one, so I'm going to assume it's 47. Go figure. They at least have the right shape. They're a little tab with a bent over bottom on it. And they appear to hook the back side of the channel for this base. So if you roll this out of the way, you hook that to the base, then come up here and put your bolt and nut in, and then put the bolt in from the outside, I assume, so it doesn't interfere with the sliding door. So just carefully to note really quick, this tab I actually put on the wrong spot. I was kind of assuming that all of these bolts were going to get the little hold downs to it, but it only shows using a few on the instructions here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. There's more than 9 in the pile, so they're probably getting used elsewhere. Probably best that you figure out by the picture here exactly which bolt gets the hold down. I assume it's for potential clearance issues later, or you're just going to use that many of them later. I don't know, but yeah, when you're putting all this together, laying it all out, pay attention to where these little anchors go. Alright, so that is the step installing those. Now, everything was done hand tight, hand loose, whatever you want to call it. That way, once this starts taking some shape, I can go through and tighten up all the gaps before actually tightening the hardware down. Just for the final finish, you're going to want it straight and all that, so I didn't use any tools there. Everything's just hand tight, and moving on to the next step, which will be putting that together. So, I need to go get all the pieces, parts for this project, get them laid in here, and then we'll get that started. Alright, so this is the front ceiling plate. You couldn't see me putting it together very well from the camera angle. Basically, you have to load all the nuts and bolts into this track. I think these are pieces 23 and 24, or 24 and 25 back here. And so you've got to load these pieces into the track, and then if you follow the track down on the bottom there, there's a seam, so it's two pieces. Again, you've got to have those bolts loaded in to the tracks, and then you're fishing these bolts down the track when you're putting these pieces together. So this is a look of from the inside, the front ceiling plate. You won't have this piece in. I'm kind of filming this after the fact here. So here's what the corner, that front corner looks like when it's all assembled. Kind of got a few different layers of things going on there. And then there is the other corner. I've already gone ahead and drilled that hole out so that everything bolted up in there. And again, it's all loose. And then here's from the front view. These are some little plastic caps they include. A little gutter cap for that numbers 12 and 13 going down there. So, all right, there it is. Yeah, so that's the front plate. And then, yeah, 12 and 13 there. And I guess, yeah, over here I'll go ahead and show this because I don't have it, I don't think I got it on video. These are number 31. You kind of preload them onto the corner there when you're assembling the corners, and they're just left dangling. So then you get these brackets, and you use the lower two holes on the brackets. That's the, from inside, that's the back right, that's the back left. And then you just kind of pre-assemble these two brackets, put the bolts in, and just hang these two pieces here for now. And then later on, yeah, you go through and do that a few times. But, yep, so that's going to be it for the kind of the first part of getting the framing in video. Because overall, this has taken a lot more time than I expected, and I've had a lot less time than I expected to have for it. So I'm gonna break it down into a few videos. That way everything can get covered as far as how all of this really goes together and dealing with the frustrations of some inadequate instructions here. So that was that's where I'm at now. Let's see. Here's all the ceiling plate stuff for assembling that front plate. Yeah, not very fun. So that's phase 4A. And then here's how the corner posts and everything, phase 3. But yeah, I'm pretty much gonna end it today on phase 4A here. There's, oh no, I guess not. There's what I was saying. I didn't get a video on this, so there's your brackets for number 48. And that's how you just assemble that together. And then I showed how the corners go together here, so that when you get the front plate built, those just go right on up. And yeah, that part wasn't too horrible. It definitely has some stuff that gets trickier. But the next video will be going over this and this. And hopefully this. So far it's been hours and hours of footage getting to this point. So thanks for watching, and I'll have another video up soon.